Restoration is brought to you by
Hisense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Yes, extra long sanitary pad for extra comfort.
We got yes protection.
Pepsodent, 10 times stronger teeth.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal.
Now it's gotten to a point where I'm not sure if I'm the one who is super excited to join you or you're the one who is extremely excited to have me come your way one more time. Well, you're welcome to Restoration with Stacey. We're brought to you by Kind Courtesy, Hisense, everyday prizes for everyday people, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Yas Washing Powder and Yas Sanitary Pad, Tuwazi Apartments. I'm saying a very big thank you to Hooch Corn and Chocoflakes, my crunches breakfast choice. A big thank you to Teflon Sweets located in Ahojo, Kumasi. Thank you very much, Bronzy and the team. I'm very grateful for the support you keep giving Restoration. A big thank you to my glam team, ABS Lax Line for my outfits, GH Beauty Artistry for makeup, and of course hair duties located at Osunia Photo Club for my hair.
Hey, Hisense Super AC Pro!
For Hisense so, never wa hoto enye peyo emra ye wo mu. Hisense AC, na yenya abotraye. Said de be ya ebetumi Ghana show no. Hisense de woto a, ye di free factory, ne de be so fie sometime. Ye da sukra ya mamre ni mu. Eche, efo, eye papa, na ntwe nyinam kanea. Ade baako a, e wa Hisense AC ho a, e ma mani je wo pa no. Eye gold face, and the copper pipes na ye di aye no. And na menu nti no, e ma AC no anwe na ache. Said de woda ni tie bia. Gidiba, ejina ne na so. 4-in-1 filter na ewo mu nti no. Oh, me from a crunching. A 23rd September, a copy 28. 6 days to pay. Madam Hisense, a conditioner. But it is to say, who? Hisense air conditioner. Your split and your floor standing. Nimi enu nyina, ubetumi ato on the standard. Another inverter room. How? Neko Hisense showroom bia. Neko Jodie. Hisense. Everyday prices for everyday people.
Tasty Tom tomato mix. Ofa kakra. Na ye bebre. Fa kakra ye nkwan stew dodo a ope.
Tasty Tom dear, it will surely give you value for money. Steak a little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup, and it doesn't color your meat or chicken.
Tasty Tom tomato mix into me handwriting and sada. Into customers bar never.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix. This advert is FDA approved.
Remember the days I just couldn't go to the gym because it was that time of the month? Yas extra long sanitary pad took the worry away. Easy.
Yes, comfort. I got yes, confidence. I got yes.
The new Yas extra long sanitary pad is the joy of every woman. It is extra absorbent and fits perfect. Don't allow anything to hold you back when it's that time.
Wow.
Yes, yes, yes.
Feel confident, stay fresh.
Hi. Is it supposed to be that time of the month? Yes.
I got yes, confidence. I got
Yes.
we got yes, protection. I got
Yas extra long sanitary pad for extra comfort.
we got yes, protection.
Every child is so unique.
You like no other.
Outstanding in every way.
It's me like no other.
So anytime you walk and play,
You like no other.
you are special like Indomie.
It's me like no other.
Did you know that every child on the planet has their own unique fingerprint like no other?
You like no other. I can play the drums. I'm talented. It's me like no other. I can sing. I can dance. You like no other.
As well as their own unique talents and abilities.
I can cook. I can paint. You like no other. Indomie. It's you like no other.
So every day, in whatever you do, remember you are special in your own way, like no other.
Thank you, Mom, for letting me know I'm special and for making me my special Indomie. Thank you, Mommy.
Introducing Indomie beef flavor. Buy now.
This advert is FDA approved.
Ow.
Let me see. She's never had a toothache before.
there might be a cavity. Don't you use Pepsodent?
We used to, but I'll try the new one.
Ah, that's why.
But doesn't every toothpaste give cavity protection?
Not really. Pepsodent's Cavity Fighter repairs tiny invisible holes to give 10 times stronger teeth. Will you trust Pepsodent?
Definitely.
Pepsodent, 10 times stronger teeth.
Use Pepsodent's Cavity Fighter.
Wait, your tomato mix. Wouldn't so one on pass. Still loud with tomato flavor, no. No color changing like traffic lights. Come on.
Tasty Tom dear, it will surely give you value for money. The steak and little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup.
Taste not so dear. On point. Flavor near.
And it doesn't color your meat or chicken. I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix. This advert is FDA approved.
Ow.
Let me see.
She's never had a toothache before.
There might be a cavity. Don't you use Pepsodent?
We used to, but I'll try the new one.
Ah, that's why.
But doesn't every toothpaste give cavity protection?
Not really. Pepsodent's Cavity Fighter repairs tiny invisible holes to give 10 times stronger teeth. Will you trust Pepsodent?
Definitely.
Pepsodent, 10 times stronger teeth.
Use Pepsodent's Cavity Fighter.
Every child is so unique.
You like no other.
Outstanding in every way.
It's me like no other.
So anytime you walk and play,
You like no other.
you are special like Indomie.
It's me like no other.
Did you know that every child on the planet has their own unique fingerprint like no other?
You like no other. I can play the drums. I'm talented. It's me like no other. I can sing. I can dance. You like no other.
As well as their own unique talents and abilities.
I can cook. I can paint. You like no other. Indomie. It's you like no other.
So every day, in whatever you do, remember you are special in your own way, like no other.
Thank you, Mom, for letting me know I'm special and for making me my special Indomie.
Thank you, Mommy.
Introducing Indomie beef flavor. Buy now.
This advert is FDA approved.
Tasty Tom tomato mix. Ofa kakra. Na ye bebre. Fa kakra yang kwani stew dodo a ope.
Tasty Tom dear, it will surely give you value for money. The steak and little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup. And it doesn't color your meat or chicken.
Tasty Tom tomato mix inti. Me handwriting and sada. Then na ne dene bia sa na tie. Inti customers ba never.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. And for some time now, I know I have been on women who are beautiful and women who are not just beautiful, but beautiful with a purpose. And today I'm going to be talking to another beautiful young woman who is actually doing amazing. when it comes to her life and projecting Ghana on the map. My guest today is Deborah Fidelia Na Ayeley Hammond, but most of you know her as Na Ayeley GMB. Hi, darling. Hi. I'm sure when I mentioned your government name, everybody was wondering, like, who is that?
Right.
That's long. Why? Your parents, why?
I know, right?
Deborah Fidelia Na Ayeley Hammond. In our passport. Pepe. I see. Welcome to the show, darling.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to finally meet you.
Oh, I'm humbled to have you here. The Queen. You're enjoying the rain, right?
Definitely.
Do you dread the time where, so I'll have to hand over soon?
Sometimes. I feel like it comes with a mood. It's just the moment you have that feeling. So sometimes it comes here like, oh my God, I don't want to hand over. Sometimes you're like, you know what, it's fine.
It's all right. Well, the Nigerians will say, take a massive B.
Exactly.
Yeah, just live one day at a time. Okay, Debbie, let's get into the conversation. Every young girl wants to be a princess. And as you grow, you want to be a queen. Was that always your dream?
Well, yeah. So the dream actually started when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
Yes. So it just started from, my DB starts from wanting to be a princess, just being a queen.
Hey. You shot high.
That was the aim. So from 8 years, I knew that, oh my God, I wanted to be a queen so bad. I mean, based on everything that it comes with, like a lot. And I'm sure we'll get into it.
At 8, what had you seen?
Well, yeah, I was really young at the time, but I was, I was exposed very early, not like to the world, but I used to read so much. So I had a lot of, yes, with a lot of information. And I used to watch Ghana's Most Beautiful at the time, 8 years with my grandmother. So 8 years, that was 2008 when Queen Adole was crowned.
Okay.
Yes, and now I'm also Na Ayeley. At the time I was baby Na. Okay. So when I watched her being crowned, I just told my grandma that I want to be like her one day. I want to be Ghana's Most Beautiful. I want to be a queen. From there.
Just like that.
Yes, because I watched her every week. And it wasn't just her. I mean, there were other contestants, queens, yes, other queens as well. And they used to empower me so much. I was so little, but then it gave me some kind of hope that I could be that person one day. So I was just inspired from there. I drew inspiration there and then, and I said that one day I'm going to be on the same platform and I'm going to do great and even greater things. Yeah.
Looking at what you're saying, you're from a privileged home.
I wouldn't say a privileged home, but I would call it a blessed home.
Okay.
I wasn't exactly privileged. There's a love story. I don't
tell me all the story. I'm here to listen.
I don't know if I can exactly give all the details, but then, I mean, definitely would visit some of them. It wasn't much of a privilege, but it was a home filled with God, like spirituality. And so whatever we had at the time, whatever I was presented with, I was content with. So each step of the way, any experience at all that life brings to me, I am able to embrace it and fight. I actually call myself a survivor.
Was growing up difficult?
I mean, yeah, it had its high moments and low moments. It was quite difficult. Yeah.
Well, what were some of the low moments?
Well, for most part of it, like I said, I lived with my grandma, and she raised me. Actually, she pampered me and all of that. But growing up, at certain stages, you would have to live with certain family members. At this point, you can live with this uncle, this auntie. Exactly. And I mean, life isn't that rosy. Everywhere you find yourself and the kind of experience, yes, that you get from there. But all of them have actually shaped me, whether positively or negatively. They have all groomed me and made me the queen I am today. So I'm so grateful for every experience.
Where were your parents whilst you were growing up?
Well, so this question, is going to bring like a whole story that I would say that I would probably come back here on the same platform and share, yes, like the details. Because
so don't share the details. I just want us to have a fair understanding where you're coming from. Here we don't force you to say things you don't want to talk about.
Definitely.
I just wanted to know where they were. Because I grew up with my grandparents. Both parents didn't live in Ghana. So I had to be raised by my grandmother and my grandfather. Yeah. So where were your parents?
Well, they weren't present at the time.
So growing up with your grandparent or your grandmother, how difficult was it? Because I know as a young girl, you get to a certain stage where you're craving for that parental care. No matter the kind of attention you're getting from whoever you're living with.
Exactly.
It gets to a point, even when it's not a big deal, because the person is not your parent, you feel you're not being treated right.
Yeah, definitely. Growing up with my grandma, I would say has been the best thing that ever happened to me. The only problems that it probably came with, well, like you said, you would definitely not get the kind of treatment that maybe your parents would give to you from anywhere at all. I don't know, I've grown to learn that. And so it was great, perfect. But like you said, there are times that like you desire that kind of love, that kind of attention, especially growing up and finding yourself in schools where you have colleagues, you have mates,
whose parents are dropping them and all of that.
Even if you don't see it, they come to class talking about it. And my mommy does, and my, that kind of thing. Well, it wasn't all smooth, but it had its moments. And like I said, it wasn't only my grandma. So like I was living with my grandma, but then I had moments where probably I had like an auntie present in the house. And then at this moment, you go and live with this person or that person. So you have different kinds of experiences, and all those moments you feel like, oh my God, I wish, like, you would laugh that. But my grandma has instilled certain values in me such that everywhere I find myself, I am able to survive. I am able to cope. I look at the positive aspects of everything. And I have grown to embrace myself, like me as a person, where I come from, who I am, the opportunities I was presented with, what God gave me and what God didn't give me. So if I find myself here and it's even the worst of moments, I could cry, but the next moment I'm out there with smiles and strength and like chasing after my dreams, doing stuff as though I am so privileged in life. So I think growing up, most people felt like I'm actually DB. People you call DB.
Yeah.
I am one of those.
Yours was DB with hard labor.
You understand? God, I don't know, God just gave me some kind of grace and glory and favor that wherever I find myself, I just shine without effort. So you find yourself amongst people and they feel like, hey, this girl, you don't know where she's coming from. She's deep. I remember in SHS one time, a certain girl called me and she was like, Debbie Fidelia, I wish I was here. I wish. In my mind, I just looked at her, smiled and shook my head.
Like, you don't know.
First of all, I went to thank God for that because I feel like I don't know what people see in me that makes them yearn to have my kind of life. I thanked him for that. And then I just said that I don't think anyone should wish to be someone, especially if you don't know what exactly.
Story.
Yeah, because my story, maybe I am surviving because like they said, God gives great battles to
those who have the strength.
Yeah, the soldiers. And so maybe he looked at me and felt like he could bring me up in a way where he can present me with all these battles and I will still survive and be victorious. But just maybe you may not be able to survive along the line. So you just have to be content with whatever you have. So yeah, I have a story.
And it's the way you smile for me. You have such an infectious smile.
Thank you.
Even when you're upset, I mean, your smile would let whoever you're talking to just
melt your heart.
I'm sure as a little girl, you're very mischievous.
My smile
and you'd always
answered.
give a smile, which just takes everything away.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I wasn't this smiley as a child.
Is it?
I wasn't smiling. All my pictures, I just had a straight face. When I see the camera, in fact, when I was a baby, as soon as I see a camera, I just start crying. And when I grew, when I'm asked to take a picture, you see, I'm frowning as though I have a problem with the photographer. I don't smile. So I don't know how I became this person. I think maybe from even junior high school, because I've seen my graduation pictures in JHS2 and I wasn't smiling. So maybe high school just found a way of shaping me into this person. And when I became this person, I'm always smiling. Yeah.
Eventually, you got the opportunity to go and audition.
Right.
How long did it take you to decide?
So, like I said, prior to the auditions, this is a dream I had when I was just 8 years. And so I didn't stop watching. Every year I was watching and I was growing with the show. So even before I became of age to participate, the show sort of had an indirect impact on my life, me as a person. So when I became 18, I wanted to give it a try. I think 18, I was in my second year, getting to third year in university. So I wanted to give it a try. But I don't know, for some reasons, whenever I have to go, I say that I'm not ready. I'm still preparing. And I'm not just waiting for the auditions. I am watching every audition on their YouTube page. I'm watching all their weekly episodes. Like, I'm still learning, doing all the research. And then I keep saying, I'm still getting ready. 19 came, 2020 came, and 2020, I wanted to go and COVID came. So I felt like that year, it wouldn't be the usual.
Exciting.
Yeah. So I was like, let me just relax.
There's enough fun, so air with it.
I mean, if I'm coming for it, I have to get the whole package. I don't want to come in a moment where they say, okay, because of this, you just have to manage, you understand? I want to have the entire experience. So 2021 also came and I was in my final year and I knew that there was no way I could juggle the two of them. And of course, family, they would take priorities, of course. And I also have dreams that are valid aside Ghana's Most Beautiful. So I decided to put my education first and then complete. Then I was done. I graduated. Then 2022 came. Then I said, okay, this is my year. I said, if I'm not going this year, I don't think I would go
ever.
Exactly. So I was doing my national service at the time. So the auditions began and I participated. I bought the forms and everything. I went there. I went through all the stages. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell my family members. I think the only person that knew at the time was my grandma.
Okay.
Yeah, because, she and I, it's a plan we have. So, and she really understands me. So I told her, she prays with me and she's my prayer warrior. So everything I do, I mostly call her, then she prays with me. So I told her every step of the way before I go inside, like the auditorium, she would pray with me, then I go. But where I was at the time, the people did not know. I did not inform them.
Anyone?
Yes, because of course, and they were against it at the time.
Okay.
And I felt like they were not understanding me. So I was like, you know what? Let me just give it a shot. I told God that
if I qualify, I qualify.
Yes,
if I don't,
yes, I don't. And I also prayed and told God, because I've been praying about this for so many years, and it got to a point like some people, like some family members, were trying to advise me against it. You know how people feel about beauty pageants. Exactly. So I told God that, you know what, if it is really not your will that this is where I should be, take away that desire, because the urge was so strong. And I am so determined such that whatever I put my mind to, nothing can stop me. Even if I'm falling, I'm still moving. I make sure I get to that point. I don't stop. So I told God that He's the only one that can take away that desire. And then I'll know that, okay, this is a sign. This is not for you. But then it grew, it kept growing stronger. And then I'm like, okay, since I'm not losing this urge, I'll give it a shot. And if it doesn't work out, I know it doesn't. So I had a plan with God and said, my first round, if this is not for me, just let them take me out. Don't even make me qualify. So I wasn't even doing too much. Yeah, don't make me qualify.
Just calm about it.
Calm, like, God, have your way. If I'm going home, I'm going home. Then I went, and I'm like the first person they even select. Then I made it to the next round. I'm always like one of the first people that like get selected. I'm like, okay, we are doing this. So I sailed through to the very end. I went for medicals. Then I finished. Then it came to the last selection. Then when it came to the last selection, there was an interview, like a personal interview where they ask you, is your family in support, your church, if you have that.
Yeah.
And I couldn't lie. So I spoke all the truth. My family is not aware. My church is not in support. This, that. I said it all. And then they were like, okay, thank you.
Did you think that could disqualify you?
Well, I knew it could, but I also said, well, it's better to speak the truth now than it affects me later. Now I have to come back to the producers and explain to them that, okay, because after I am selected, I would have to still break the news to them because I can't leave the house like that. And when I break the news and they say, call your producers and tell them you can't make it, you won't come, won't allow you, it will be a whole inconvenience. So I said, let me just tell them, if they feel like it's still okay and I am allowed, fine. If not, then. So I just said, and I can't say for a fact if that is the sole reason, but then I just know that I wasn't the one who represented the region that year. So I just went back home. I still didn't tell anyone, but TV3, they'll blow your cover because they'll show it on TV. They show the auditions on TV. Yeah, yeah, they did. So my family members saw it in my church, and I keep saying my church because I was like brought up in a church completely, and it was a family church. It was actually founded by my late grandfather. So my church was more like my family. So this thing where this person is your auntie, this person is your uncle, but you're all church.
But you're not like blood really,
exactly. So that's why I keep making that reference. So it was on TV, and people started forwarding the videos to my family members, and I came to church that Sunday, and so you went for GMB, and so you went for GMB. I didn't even qualify. I didn't even make it in the end, but I took it all in good faith, and then I said, you know what? Okay, fine. I'll just leave it as it is, because even the reaction I got after that wasn't a nice one from most people. So then I said that, what if I had made it? You understand? But then also I still had the dream. And remember, I had a plan with God that if that is not his will, I should not even qualify. But like based on the qualities that he has blessed me with, I kept qualifying through all the stages, like nothing at all. Every criteria that they were looking for, by his grace, it was so easy for me. So then I felt like, okay, well, this is not him. It was just circumstances that made it so. So I'm like, okay, fine. Let's see what next year brings.
Okay.
And then next year came.
Wow. We'll take a very short commercial break. When we come back, now will tell us what happened when next year came.
Hey, Super AC Pro!
For high sense so, never wa hoto enye peyo emra ye wo mu. High sense AC, na yenya abotraye. Said de be ya ebetumi Ghana show no. High sense de woto a, ye the free factory, near de be so fie sometime. Ye da so kra ya mamre ni mu. Eche, efo, eye papa, na ntwe nyinam kanea. Ade baako a, e wa high sense AC ho a, e ma mani je wo pa no. Eye gold face, ene copper pipes na ye de aye no. Ena menu nti no, ema AC no anwe na ache. Said de woda ni tie bia. Gidiba, ejina ne na so. 4-in-1 filter na ewo mu nti no. Oh, me from a crojin. A 23rd September, a copy 28. 6 days per Madam High Sense air conditioner. But it is to say who High Sense air conditioner. Your split and your floor standing. Nimi enu nyina ubetumi ato ne standard and the inverter room. How neko High Sense showroom bia neko jodie. High Sense everyday prices for everyday people.
Tasty Tom tomato mix. Ofa kakra. Na ye bebre. Fa kakra ye nkwan stew dodo a ope.
Tasty Tom dear, it will surely give you value for money. Steak and little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup, and it doesn't color your meat or chicken.
Tasty Tom tomato mix inti. Me handwriting and Sada. Then I need to sign into customers bar never.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom and rich tomato mix. This advert is FDA approved.
I love President Charcoal. Why? When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste. That's both charcoal and lemon. Oh, does it? Yes. Look right here.
Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has two of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With a pair of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced?
Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smiles.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal.
Remember the days I just couldn't go to the gym because it was that time of the month? Yas extra long sanitary pad took the worry away. Easy.
Yes, comfort, I got. Yes, confidence, I got. Yes.
The new Yas Extra Long Sanitary Pad is the joy of every woman. It is extra absorbent and fits perfect. Don't allow anything to hold you back when it's that time.
Wow.
Yes, yes, yes.
Feel confident, stay fresh.
Hi. Is it supposed to be that time of the month? Yes.
I got. Yes, confidence, I got.
Yes.
We got yes protection, I got.
Yas Extra Long Sanitary Pad for extra comfort.
We got yes protection.
Let me see.
She's never had a toothache before.
There might be a cavity. Don't you use Pepsodent?
We used to, but I'll try the new one.
Ah, that's why.
But doesn't every toothpaste give cavity protection?
Not really. Pepsodent's Cavity Fighter repairs tiny invisible holes to give 10 times stronger teeth. Will you trust Pepsodent?
Definitely. Pepsodent. 10 times stronger teeth.
Use Pepsodent's Cavity Fighter.
Every child is so unique.
You like no other.
Outstanding in every way.
It's me like no other.
So anytime you walk and play,
You like no other.
you are special like Indomie.
It's me like no other.
Did you know that every child on the planet has their own unique fingerprint like no other?
You like no other. I can play the drums. I'm talented. It's me like no other. I can sing. I can dance. You like no other.
As well as their own unique talents and abilities.
I can cook. I can paint.
You like no other. Indomie. It's you like no other.
So every day, in whatever you do, remember you are special in your own way, like no other.
Thank you, Mom, for letting me know I'm special and for making me my special Indomie. Thank you, Mommy.
Introducing Indomie beef flavor. Buy now.
This advert is FDA approved.
I love President Charcoal. Why? When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste. That's both charcoal and lemon. Oh, does it? Yes. Look right here.
Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has two of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With a pair of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced?
Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smiles.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal.
We are still at Mention Palace and we are in the spirit of giving. Yes, and our next winner is my sweet sister Aisha. Aisha to say. Nejomu to say. Say bibi aboko. Ye buy nye bone. High sense ese embeda masti. Say da ne da mo support you. Na che say minim say mention de high me fie ba na me dru ye no. Asa odo na ye more, aye more. Ti pese ye ba ne ma mu say odo ada ne da mo da na di kire ye no. Ye ni eso ni bebre nti ye wo achede efi high sense of edema. Into patrol high sense ese ye mfa we emeda was. Then I'll catch your high sense. But we are going to castle.
I sense. Mungo my eye sense. The you carry na ba mo wangabu. Mungo de I can ye gaba.
Wow. So that is her saying a big thank you to High Sense, and she's our winner for this week. Next week we'll come your way with another winner.
Welcome back from our High Sense Super Crazy giveaway moment. Very soon, now we'll get to pick something. Then we'll see what she gets to take home.
Wow, I'm so excited about
Did
that.
they tease you?
Oh, I'm telling you, they did.
When you've been told,
Yeah.
thou shalt not try. And you tried and
right?
failed.
I know, right?
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it wasn't a pleasant.
And the funny part will be they'll forward your own videos to you.
Yeah. Oh, but for other people aside like the church, like my friends and people who have known me and knew the kind of things that I do and my passion, who they have been very, very supportive on this journey. So they were even pushing like, hey, this year are you going now? When are you going? That kind of thing. So those people would actually send the videos to you, congratulating you. That, they were so excited to see you and like what happened? Like finally. So I had like the positive ones and then I had the
naysayers.
We told you so.
We told you so.
And this is something, it was a low-key move. You were not telling anyone, so you were hoping that, okay, sis,
you just come and pass.
Come and continue your life. Then
I'm
you blow your cover.
I'm sorry. you chose the wrong platform.
Wrong.
It's like going on American Idol.
Exactly.
And you say it's low-key.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. It can be low-key.
A whole national thing.
It can be low-key. I'm sorry.
I mean, but it's well. It's well.
When the new year came, how did you gather courage to go back?
Okay. So, like I said earlier, I'm very determined and I'm very passionate about things. And once the thing is driven by passion, nothing stops me. I don't care if it's embarrassment, disgrace, naysayers, whatever it is. If I've not done it, I am not stopping. So when next year came, like I'm the one always fishing out for the information. When it's TV3, and they were even taking so long to post the artwork. But I knew that
year kept too long.
But then I know that every year is supposed to be in June. And my notification is always on for the TV3 platform.
Okay.
Every year. So I'm always looking out for it. Then June came and it wasn't coming. Then I'm checking. Then finally I saw it and I'm like, okay,
we're here.
We are here again. But I wasn't stopped. I was still preparing. So I'm still watching the videos, doing my research, all the cultural things I have to learn. I'm learning because growing up, like I said, I grew up with my grandma and she's a Khan. She's a Kwapim.
Okay.
And I'm Gam. And I have to represent Greater Accra region. We were not even speaking Ga at home. But I was doing Ga in school. I was studying Ga in school. And we lived in Bubuashi my whole life. We lived in Bubuashi. So I was speaking a few things. And I knew that I had to know some things because GMB, you also have to be very, very intelligent because it's intellectually inclined as well. So I was still learning all night and stuff. Then the day came. I marked the date. Then that morning. So that morning, I even had a funeral. A loved one was being sent home that day. And that same funeral, I had a tribute, a spoken word performance. And so I had to go there before. Now, I had a whole hindrance for the audition because, like I said, where I was at the time, they didn't want me to participate. I tried explaining, convincing, but I'm from a very, very religious family. That's one factor that really came in my way because it's all about, this is not in the Bible. This is not God's will. This is God. You have to be in the church and this is a worldly thing. You understand? But then I also felt like everyone has a dream. Yeah. I'm still religious. I'm still a Christian. I believe so much in God and I pray and do everything I have to do. And even this, I discuss it with God. So I feel like God even understands. So when they were still against it, I cried the night before. I cried till morning. And then I was saying, if I don't go for this audition forever, my whole life,
you're going to regret it.
I'll regret it and I'll stand everywhere and blame them for that. So if my future doesn't turn out the way I prayed for it to turn out, I would always look back and say, they really took this from me. They didn't even allow me. So, and I don't want my future story to have complaints because then that day, maybe whenever it is, what if those people are not alive anymore? And I'm just there and I've messed up my future because of people. So then I cried and then I said, no, I will do this. And if it doesn't work out, this is my final year. If it doesn't work out, then I know that, okay, God, you have spoken. So I didn't tell them again, but then I had bought all my costumes. In all the rounds, like you have to, and because I had gone the previous year, I knew that every round you need another costume. So I bought all, I made the seamstress sew them for me. I had everything ready. And the funeral, we're going as a family, but they took the lead. And so when they went, I also put my costume and everything in my bag. God. And I wore the funeral costume. I went, did my spoken word, went to cry and everything. And the audition had actually begun because it starts in the morning. Okay. And I was still at the funeral. So I went in the afternoon. I went with my black and red, and I saw that they had started, some regions had begun. So I quickly went to the washroom, went to change, and I had called a makeup artist because, you know, like I said,
hey, then you were prepared.
Oh, I was prepared this year. God, I was prepared. I took everything with me. And I had cried for so long about this, and I didn't want to go in looking all gloomy. Yeah. I needed to look the part. And when I'm going somewhere, like especially it's a beauty pageant, you want to be a queen. So I feel like I have to come in looking like the queen.
Yeah, looking the part.
Yes. So I made all the preparation, and then the person came, made me up. At the time people had started, so I went in to register and see I had a lot of issues. Already I was late. And now I was registering and it wasn't registering. And I'm like, God, you talk to me directly. Let me know that, okay, you said no. But they kept trying for me. And then finally, the one producer, actually, I don't know, he's not a producer. I think he was made in charge of that. Mm-hmm. So he was handling the technicalities. So he took it upon himself, got someone else's phone, tried and all of that before finally I got registered. So I think when I even saw the audition video they put together, you would realize that in the beginning, when the camera caught me, I was so hot. I was holding like 3 phones trying to register, and it wasn't working out. But eventually, by God's grace, it did work out, and I got registered. I went to get my makeup done and everything, and now it was my turn. See, I wasn't done with the battle, so when it was now almost my turn, Greater Accra, I think I was like the last person or the last but one, and it was like 2 people to my turn. I had been there the whole time. Now it's finally my turn. My heels got spoiled.
No way.
I'm telling you.
No way.
I was shaking. I was shaking.
Like, oh God.
I cried.
Is this a sign?
I cried in me, but you know, I can also ruin the makeup so inwardly. So I'm like, okay, you know what? These are just so many signs. What's happening? But you see, sometimes we can misinterpret certain signs. Yeah. Because all of these things could have made me feel, I could have felt like, you know what, okay.
I'm not supposed
to be here. So I'll just like leave. I won't even go in anymore. Because prior to the heel issue, you know, they gave us tags.
Yeah.
And then the tags that were given, my tag got spoiled. Then I went for another one. It removed again. Only me, I used like 4 tags. I'm not even kidding. The guy who was in charge of it would even remember till this day. Now they told me that if you ruin this one, we are not giving you again. You go in there without a tag. So when it was coming off, I held it. I made sure I held it together before the heel. So already like so many things. I'm like, okay. Then the makeup artist I called, she was so Irama, like she was so good to me. She stayed the whole day with me till evening. So when the heels got ruined, she went roaming Kanda, TV3, the area, looking for super glue to come and fix my heels for me. See, I'm even emotional right now. Aww. And then she would keep calling me, now have they called you? Now talk to them. Then now I realized that now is the last person to my turn. And she wasn't getting some. So I was not trying to find anyone around. And you don't know anyone. Yeah. And it's a competition. Who would want to help you out? For you to come and make it. You understand? So I looked deeply, and then I saw someone. I asked her, and unfortunately she said her ride was here. She's done with hers and she was leaving. And she was the only one at the time I could trust because I knew her face. Okay. Like, she was familiar. Then I was like, okay, fine. So I went to sit down quietly, and then a certain girl came to me from the Volta region. And then I told her that, honestly, this is very embarrassing, but this is my issue. my heels. I can't even walk in it at all. So she gave me hers. She didn't know me. She just gave me her heels. And when she did her feet, like I also have a small feet, so it didn't even work for me. And I told her I'll manage, but it was shoe. It wasn't sandal that you can buckle it.
Yeah.
Like it's a full shoe. So my feet is just
it's like Puss in Boots.
oh my God. It was so painful. Then she quickly spoke to another person from the Volta region in their language, begging her that she should give me she's sure her size can work a little, and her own had some, things you can buckle. And then she spoke to her, and then the girl gave it to me. And then I tried it. It was a little bit. I said, don't worry.
I'll manage.
I'll manage. So I wore it, and then she told me, she would wait for me till I'm done. Then they called me. And I went in with the heels I was wearing. I went to give it my all because what I had gone through, I told God that I'm not living here without a fight. I gave it my all. They asked me series of questions. When they asked me, I would answer every question. They asked me about 3 questions. And then my talent came. I went prepared. I went to perform. I danced, did a melodrama, acted, sang, did everything. And then I came out. And when I came out, I was even going to give it to her. And she said, since they've not called us back, because they'll keep calling us. So I shouldn't worry till we are done. So she waited for me. I wore it. And then I made it. Then
I'm sure she was happy for you.
She was so happy for me till date. She kept congratulating me every step of the way. She comes to check up. So we exchange contacts. So after every round, she comes to text me, Ayeley, how did it go? Did you make it? I'm like, yeah. Semi-finals, I went. Medicals, I went. Then we were now 32. At my year, they started at 32 tasks. So 2 people will be selected from each region. Then out of the 2, when you perform and you vote, then 1 person would be selected. So I made it to 32. I performed, and by God's grace, I was the one that got selected to represent the region. And then I said, even the previous year, I didn't have to fight this match. And whilst going on with all of these battles, like I was facing all of the angles, because like I said, I had not told others, and I knew that hell would break loose, So I was dealing with all of those emotions, and psychologically, I wasn't even okay. I really fought. So when I got selected, I cried. Because I knew that
only you knew your story.
Only me. And I don't think I've never shared the details of my audition like I have shared today. Like when I go on every interview, I just told them about how, you have to come with confidence and you do this and that. But me
here, you tell the real deal.
Exactly.
We don't play here.
Yeah.
You don't play. We tell the deal.
Exactly.
We say it as it is.
Yes, because people need to be inspired. They have to know.
How did you break the news when you go home? That's the part I want to know.
Oh my God.
Now you see how I'm sitting now.
You're ready for it? So when I got home that evening, it was a long evening. I didn't tell them that evening.
We all went to a funeral.
Yes.
You got lost. And you come back and you tell us you qualified for what?
You understand? And you see, the thing about GMB is that the rounds is not the same day. So we have like intervals. So maybe 2 days or maybe a week. So it was like a whole journey, and I kept participating. So Undercover.
Okay.
And I don't know if TV3 the security officials would remember me. Every time I come in a different outfit, but I live in a different outfit. I'm telling you, so maybe I'm coming from work or wherever I'm coming from, I come in with that outfit because I can't in my house. Everyone knows the GMB outfit because I watch every year. I'll make sure everyone is watching because I'm watching. So when the commercial is out there, you know that they say, okay, you wear tank top and this. So if you see me coming back with tank top and GTP,
you know that
Ayeley is coming from GMB. So every evening I change at TV3 before I come home quietly. I don't advise, but anyways. So I did, and then now I've been selected now to break the news. I didn't break the news at that moment. I was still gathering like confidence. How am I going to say this? Which angle am I even picking it from? But my grandma knew, and some family members, my maternal family, they have been also like very, very supportive of this journey. So they knew about it. I told some of them, and I remember I told my Uncle Daniel, and then he told me that he's very supportive of it. And all of them have known me since my childhood. And these are things I've been doing from primary, KG, everywhere. When you come to my school graduation, I carry it on my head. I'm doing poetry. I'm as a class when I start giving like introduction of chairman, vote of thanks, and all of those things.
So you're a natural.
Yes, I'm dancing. I'm doing cultural dance. I'm doing choreography. I'm the leader. I'm in the choir. I'm doing cadets. I'm acting. I'm doing everything. So everyone who was part of my growth knew that this is what the girl does, and you can't take it from her.
Yeah.
So they were all supportive, and then now we were all worried about how to break it to the other side. So I still didn't break it. Truthfully, I still didn't break it to them. And coincidentally, my grandma fell sick. I wasn't with her at the time, and she's actually my favorite human being. Like, I love her so much. So when she fell sick, I said I was going to be with her and like take care of her and help her. So I went to her place, packed a few things, and went to be with her. And that was the period where TV3 started
the promo.
Yes, they were beginning to post the promo. So before I realized, the audition video was out, the compilation was out, and my performance, everything was there. And people had already started seeing it. I'm like, oh my God, these people didn't even give me time to finally tell them. So I was at my grandma's place, and it happened. So they found out from there. They found out from social media, on TV, and people started sending it to them. Because like I said, the church is my family. They know me, so they know my family members very well. They sent them the videos, then all hell broke loose. But I wasn't there directly to deal with it. I was with my grandma. I was undercover. So when the things started happening, calls kept coming. My pastors were calling me. Church elders were calling me. People were calling me. Family members were calling me. I was rebuked. I heard all the worst things I could hear my whole life. I was even told, call TV3 and tell them that you are not coming. Even on the day we're supposed to go to the reality house. One pastor called me and said, you won't go. You won't go. Tell them that you are not coming. I was like,
on that thought, I am seeing a part 2 of this conversation because no way.
I am telling you.
So let me just acknowledge my sponsors. You wait. So hold on right there. Hold on to that thought. And this conversation has gotten really interesting. So I'm going to have to do a part 2 of this. So I would have to say a very big thank you to my sponsors, Hisense, everyday prizes for everyday people, Yas Washing Powder and Yas Sanitary Pad, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Hoochcon and Choco Flakes, Tuwazi Apartments, Teflon Suites located in Ahojo. Thank you very much, guys. A very big thank you to the Susa Catering Services, and of course to my Glam Squad, ABS Slacks Line, GH Beauty Artistry, and Hair Duties. I wish today is actually next week. Trust me on this one, because Ayeley, we are definitely continuing this conversation next week. So next week, if you want to know what happened with the church and Ayeley, make sure you join us. Always do remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. We'll see you next week.